Hey everyone, this is Anton D. Knight from Pocketnow.com, and we are here in Barcelona, Spain at the Mobile World Congress, where last year Steve Ballmer at the keynote announced Windows Phone 7, and 1 year later joining us today is Mr. McGee with Microsoft. He is Senior Marketing Manager, right? And we have some questions we might ask. Hopefully we will get some answers. And most of the questions are in the light of recent events which happened, but let me just start with the first question. Was Windows Phone a successful platform launch-wise? Was it a successful launch or not?
It absolutely was. As you referenced, last year we introduced Windows Phone 7 for the first time, and we really focused on it having a different sort of value to people. It's a different design, it's got integrated experiences, and we spent a lot of time last year trying to see if people would respond to and how they appreciate the idea of things like live tiles, of hubs, and the way that we bring information together and surface it in a way that's immediate and really, really valuable. We started launching phones in the fall and certainly in the November timeframe. So it's been about 3 months we've had phones in market, and what we've seen is that satisfaction is very, very high. Over 90% by most measures, and that tells us that people who experience the phone really, really love the phone, and they tell their friends they love the phone. And that's the most important first step when you're starting a new product. Getting that feedback and knowing that if you've got it, you love it. If you've got a product that people love, then you can build on that. And that's really what this Mobile World Congress is about, is feeling good about what we've done in the first year and talking about what we're going to do next to build on that success.
So last Friday, Steve Ballmer and Steve Elop, Microsoft and Nokia, announced a strategic alliance. And they both emphasized that this strategic alliance will be good for both Nokia, both Microsoft, also the users, developers, and operators. But really, for whom is this the biggest deal?
It's genuinely about improving an ecosystem. For both companies, we succeed when there's a healthy ecosystem feeding both companies in the markets that we serve. So certainly Nokia has a tremendous experience with hardware innovations, with services, and bringing great phones to a number of markets around the world. Microsoft obviously has been focused on software, and we feel very good about what we've put forth with smartphone software and Windows Phone 7 and doing something a little bit different that resonates with the end users. You put those two concepts together and you create a brand new opportunity for developers, for other partners, retail, anybody involved in the phone chain to have a different kind of phone and a new opportunity to create apps and games and services, to really localize content, to take advantage of search and location, to create brand new opportunities within your local market, within your town. There's just a number of ways that we think the ecosystem can rally around this partnership and do something completely different from what's available out there today.
So it really is a win-win-win-win-win situation. Everybody wins.
Absolutely, that's the goal.
Getting back to yesterday's keynote, Steve Ballmer announced that there will be some features added to Windows Phone this year, and also referenced that there will be an update, the first update for Windows Phone 7, at the beginning of March. Now, I know Microsoft never emphasized and never said publicly when exactly that update will hit. Everybody expected it to hit somewhere in January or February because we heard about early 2011. Why was the copy-paste update, we call it the copy-paste update, delayed till March?
It's not so much a delay. It's, as we talked about, we wanted to introduce Windows Phone 7, make sure we had great experiences, and job one was making sure anybody who picked up and used the phone had that great experience. And we did that by ensuring that what we shipped worked great. And that meant that there are some things that would have to come a little later. And copy and paste was one of those. And as we started testing the product and getting feedback from customers, we realized that has to be one of the next features that we add is copy and paste. So as we were shipping the product, we were getting ready to add copy paste, some improved performance for applications, and building that update. The process of creating and shipping an update is obviously building the code and then working with our partners to make sure that it's distributed in a way that that works for the customer, works for the network, and works across all devices. And so that's really what we've been doing for the past few weeks, is just making sure that everything is staged and ready to be pushed out.
Okay, one question related to your personal experience with Windows Phone 7. I'm curious about that. My favorite feature is the People Hub. What's your favorite feature? What are you most proud of in Windows Phone 7?
You know, it changes. I go back and forth between the music and video experience and pictures, but as a new father, it has to be pictures. I love the fact that, you know, the pocket to picture feature where I can pull out my camera and take a picture of my daughter in a matter of seconds. I take advantage of that all the time. I love that my pictures all come together in the hub. As my wife posts pictures, that comes into the Pictures hub. We can manage everything from one place. I can post up to Facebook. So I think the older my daughter gets and the more she does, the more I use the Picture hub.
And what do you think could use the most improvement in Windows Phone 7?
I think probably it is the People Hub, because people enjoy that experience and because it is so critical to the phone. I think, for example, the fact that we are bringing Twitter integration is a great example of how we can continue to expand. You know, Windows Phone is a platform. We're going to continue to improve on all of these experiences over time, and we hope that's what people take away from Mobile World Congress. As pertains to the People Hub, the Twitter integration, great example. We're going to look for every opportunity to continue to add value and make sure that our design and integrated experiences are surfacing the things that people care about in a meaningful way as we continue to update the platform.
Can we also expect some integration from other services? Now we have Facebook, we have Yahoo, we have Google, we will have Twitter. Can we expect also LinkedIn, MySpace?
Certainly nothing to announce at this time. I would say in general, you look at the hubs and the fact that we do want to bring services and experiences together. We're always looking at what are the right services and experiences to bring together in all of the hubs. You know, similarly Office, we brought more Office documents to the Office hub by taking advantage of SkyDrive. Music and video, we'll continue to look at how we can improve that. When you look at the gaming experience, we started to show some scenarios where we can improve the gaming experience and bring things to the Game Hub. And certainly the People Hub will continue to be a hub that we invest in and bring those things together.
Right. Well, getting a little bit back to the Windows Phone launch, which is approximately was 4 months ago, we have started with 9 devices, from which let's say there are approximately only 7 on the market because the HTC 7 Pro destined for Sprint as a CDMA device has started hitting Europe in the GSM version, and the Dell Venue Pro has not reached the European market yet, so let's say we have 7 devices. When do you think we can expect the second wave of devices? When will other devices be added to the portfolio from the manufacturer's point of view?
That's really up to our partners. You know, we've certainly continued to advance the platform. You see the updates. We work very, very closely with all of our partners to ensure that they have what they need and there are compelling new designs out there. And I'm certain that they're evaluating what their lineups are going to look like for the foreseeable future. But, you know, again, really nothing to announce today about what additional devices we may see.
When can we hear about chassis 2 specifications, approximately, or if we are going to hear in the near future?
There's really nothing new to say about specifications. You know, certainly, you know, we'll continue to evolve the platform, create those opportunities. The next milestone where we'll be talking substantively about the platform will be in the next time frame. So people who are looking at the announcements made at Mobile World Congress and wondering what it means to developers, to other partners, understanding more about any changes of specification around Internet Explorer, certainly multitasking and creating third-party applications. Mix will be a great event to learn a lot more about how you can get ready for the year ahead.
And talking about hardware, well, there's a feature I'm not using at the moment, and I'm not fond of using it. It's called video calling, and Windows Phone 7 does not support it at the moment. Do you think, and many of our readers asked this question, will Windows Phone 7 support video calling? Will we see hardware with front-facing cameras? I think we don't have hardware at the moment because there's no software support, or vice versa.
That's exactly right. It's the conversation that we have with our partners. We work together to understand what the customer wants, where there's demand, and then understand what devices to build and what software to create to take advantage of that. So certainly nothing to announce today about a timeline, except to say that that is certainly a feature that we're watching. It's certainly something that we talk about with our partners. It's something that certainly could be done if it's prioritized and if we and our partners jointly decide that's something that needs to be built. But if that's going to happen or when, I really can't say today.
Okay, there's been an announcement this week. It was involving Sony Ericsson's Xperia Play running another platform, and our readers asked that it has the slide-out gaming controls. Will we ever get the chance to see a Xbox Windows Phone?
Ever is a long time. again, there's nothing to announce today, but it's certainly safe to say that when you look at the variety of experiences that we've created with Windows Phone 7, there are opportunities to do a number of things, but as it stands today, we've stayed very strict with the guidelines and the chassis specs that we have for Windows Phone 7. So, the opportunity's there, and if there was market and there was demand to do something like that, I'm sure it would be a conversation that we have with our partners. But as it is today, we're building on those experiences that we've been successful with thus far, and we'll stick with those specifications.
A quick question. This one is for me actually. I'm living in Romania, and while you can buy Windows Phone 7 hardware in Romania, there's definitely no support for Windows Live Services. I mean, we don't have that there, which is a huge drawback from the market share, from the sales point of view. Do you think we can ever expect, or if yes, when, an expansion of the live services, Marketplace, Zoom, so on, so that I think that would really boost the sales and the market share for Windows Phone?
Yeah, we're slowly but surely expanding the reach of our services, our availability, our language support even. Every periodically we've had some updates, and we've talked about some better regionalization for the phone. There's nothing new in terms of the specific regions that we're going to be expanding to. Nothing we can talk about from a roadmap perspective, except to say that you're right. We certainly understand
and
that.
it's coming.
Well, I can't say to which countries it's coming, in what order, what time frame, but I would agree that the services are a large component of what people love about Windows Phone, and we certainly understand that we want to make that as strong an experience as we can for as many customers as possible, and there are investments to that effect.
There's a lot of buzz lately regarding near-field communication, NFC, and it's available. I mean, the other platform has its support built in. Will we ever get the chance to see support for NFC or other mobile payment support in Windows Phone 7?
Again, I think there's a number of really interesting technologies and topics that there is potential to incorporate into Windows Phone, and things that we evaluate with our partners, understand where there's demand, what the long-term trajectory is of support for those sorts of things, and then we determine whether or not that's something that we want to prioritize. And so I would say that's in the same category. It'll be evaluated and sort of stack ranked, and we'll figure out what to prioritize for future releases.
Getting back a little bit in time to the Windows Phone 7 launch, could you give us a few examples of Windows Phone 7 launch successes, but also failures?
Well, certainly from a success standpoint, we felt very, very good about the number of devices, the partnerships that we had, and our ability to have a wide range of compelling applications and games available at launch. There's nothing that we're looking at as a failure, but certainly if we had more time, if time was infinite and resources were infinite, we would have liked to have some of the additional features like incorporating Twitter. We would have liked to have copy and paste earlier. We would have liked to have been in more regions. We would have liked to have broader service support. We certainly understand there are things we can do to improve upon the experiences for customers around the globe. But there's nothing that we felt bad about. We wouldn't have shipped the product if we didn't feel like we were putting something out there that people would genuinely enjoy and generate the sort of satisfaction rates that we've seen.
I have one question here from one of my colleagues. He says, what are some of the strengths of Android and iOS that Windows Phone 7 would do well in emulating?
We don't feel like it's so much a matter of emulating. I think broadly, you look at competing platforms, and they have definitely showed that there is demand, and much broader demand, for smartphones, that customer behaviors have changed, that they're using handheld technology very differently. And that it's more broadly applicable. And that's one of the reasons that we did start over with Windows Phone 7. We wanted to create something that had broader appeal, that was a little more user-friendly, and would really surface the things that people care about. And in fact, we saw a way to do it a little bit better. I think some of the competition managed to create a little bit more excitement and a little bit more opportunity by surfacing a lot of individual applications and showing just how many functions you can get onto a phone. What we learned from that is you need to take the next step. It's not just the functions on the phone, it's how you organize them and you make them friendly. And you or I shouldn't have to go find the functions and things we care about. It should come to us. It should be surfaced. It should be glanceable. So certainly we saw the competition doing a good job of consumerizing mobile technology, creating a broader, kind of appeal. And we want to build on that and do a little better job of really taking it to the next level so even more people are using mobile technology.
Okay, and last question is related to the features Steve Ballmer announced and the also Nokia-Microsoft deal. Taking these both into consideration, when do you think we might see a climb in market share for Windows Phone 7? When do you expect it will actually have a chance of climbing back to where Windows Mobile was a couple of years back?
Yeah, it's tough to project growth rates just because it is such a dynamic market, and oftentimes it's relative to unknown movements from the competition. But if you look at what we've done, we do feel like we are on course to grow. Slowly but surely, some of the the addition of CDMA will give us more handsets in market. These features will make the phones more appealing to more customers, and certainly the partnership with Nokia, when it hits full steam in 2012, will bring our phones to a lot more markets in a lot more compelling ways. And we certainly feel like in aggregate, those things will have a demonstrable effect on.
Well, thank you very much for the time,
Thank
for
you.
your opportunity. This was Anton Dinaj, Barcelona, with McGee here from Microsoft.